So we are on the first day of the New York City NovaCon. It is a Friday early afternoon. I may have at some point said that it started on a Thursday. I was wrong. It starts on a Friday. Uh, but we're going to start on a panel on which both Waterlily and Fawn are members of. It is a panel based around the concept of activism and basically social justice issues um, through the lens of Nova social media. And it's been a pretty good panel so far. The moderator has sort of kept things on track, deflected some pretty nonsense questions and kept that to a minimum. But the panel is in the last stages of wrapping up. And the two of you have gone over the various causes that you support, the things that you put your influence and your time behind. And sort of the last big question that the moderator is going to lob at the both of you is, she asks to Fawn, says, now we have an idea of what it is you support, what you feel is important, but what is your strategy? What do you think is your methodology that you employ to really get your message across in the most effective way possible?
Um, well, um, I choose a path of nonviolence. I don't like violence. I've never have, and I firmly believe that violence only brings more violence. So I do mine through peaceful protests, spreading information from scientific facts, um, making sure that the truth gets out there for people to understand and educate themselves. As well as I like to bring awareness to issues that people don't usually recognize, like animal rights, mostly because people have a tendency to view animals as things when they are their own beings. All life is precious. So I would say I work through my social media. I have my friends help me with their social media, trying to get out there and reach the people. I also do peaceful protests, signs, um, spreading information. I have not rented any billboards, but I think that could be a good way to reach people who are moving and driving.
I see. Okay, so that's a pretty broad strategy. Same question to you, Waterlily.
Certainly. Repeat the question, please.
Yeah, so like I said, we've gone over your sort of what you believe in and what you promote in your social media. So what we're asking right now is about your general strategy. How do you get your message across in sort of a strategic, tactical way?
Certainly, I'll admit, be the first to admit, in fact, I'm not one of the more social media savvy team members. So I do get some assistance and some advice on this frequently. However, at my base core, I believe that my message, because mental health and, trying to personally come to terms with, what the sense of weight in the world is on us and what is our ownness. I feel like everybody feels that. So it's more of a sense not of trying to directly, connect, but honestly, get the word of mouth through various communications. So I think um, putting the word out there through social media of the projects that we're involved in, getting community awareness to them, and sort of letting that spread naturally is more of my format.
Fantastic. Those are both really great answers. Well, this has been the end of our activism and social media panel. Thank you to all of our guests, especially to Fawn and Waterlily from coming and talking to us from the Nova perspective. And we will be clearing the room out for the next panel. Thanks everyone for coming. Um, and the two of you are sort of led, Waterlily, Virginia, you have sort of an assigned a handler from Project Utopia, and the Count has assigned one of his staff members to be sort of your handler for the con Fawn. And they both just kind of are there waiting in the wings, sort of to wait to lead you into the back area of the convention center, so that you can get around to where you need to go next without having to wade through the mob. And you guys are in this back area together for a moment.
Oh, wow. That wasn't as bad as I thought. What do you think?
There's so many people here. Why are there so many people here? They are so loud.
Um, do you have social anxiety, like group activities?
I
I'm
mean,
sorry, I shouldn't ask that. Anyway, are you okay? Like, do you need something?
I think I'll be fine. I I can sense things a lot better than most people. So it's like everything's at a 20 right now. It's very
Um,
overwhelming.
I mm, I understand a bit. I haven't done conventions really like this before, not about Nova activities, so this is my first time too. Um,
I've never been to a convention ever. My parents would never let me go to anything like that. They really didn't let me out of the park.
wait, the park?
Yeah. I grew up in a park. The you know, the yeah, the one over in Colorado, Denver. It's complicated. My parents aren't the best of people.
And you live in New York now.
Yeah, it's really weird. I usually don't leave the apartment except at nighttime when I go to the park. I like the park.
It's pretty nice. Yeah. Uh, what else have they got you doing this weekend?
I don't know. I was gonna go try to find like everyone else on my team and be like, what are we supposed to do? Because I mean, other than I know I'm supposed to talk at some panels, I don't actually know what you do at a convention. So, um, I just am here.
Actually, while you guys are talking, the handler from the count assigned to you, Fawn, actually comes up and he has a small case. He says, "Fawn, we were able to get this from our R&D department, from the Core's R&D department. It might help with the issues that you've been having here." And he opens up this little case, and it looks like a little kind of like two different rings, but they're connected. It almost looks like a pair of sunglasses without any lenses in them.
Hmm.
And he says, you can just clip these to the back of your antlers, and it should help you with sensory filtering.
Oh, that would be lovely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, anything that we can to help you really push the image here. We don't want you to be suffering anything from these. Anyway, yeah.
She hugs them.
He he accepts the hug with perfect calm and poise and says, "Excellent. So you have some free time before your next appearance at the sort of the meet and greet and the photo opportunity line.
Meet and
So,
greet.
yeah, it's a thing for the press. It's just a very quick thing. Get some photos out there, and it shouldn't take too much of your time. And these should help significantly.
Oh, okay. What? So I just stand there and look pretty? Like I don't
Uh,
understand what you mean by meet and greet. Just talk
Pretty
to them.
much, yeah. Stand there, look pretty. People might ask you some questions. Some VIPs might want to take some photos with you. It's kind of meat for the gristle, but there's reasons for it.
Okay, I can do that. She kind of takes a moment and puts the things on her antlers.
Yeah, and even the background hum from outside in the convention area, it doesn't make it go away. It just turns the volume down, and like when you are able to focus on a thing, it it isolates the thing that you want to focus on while turning everything else down.
Oh my goodness, this is so much better.
You're welcome. It's pretty experimental. It might not have the longest of battery life, so definitely we'll have to charge it probably in a couple hours.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much.
Sure thing. Like I said, you have some free time, and he sort of turns to Waterlily and says, "If you want to spend time with new friends or find your team, I think." He holds up a hand to his earpiece and says, It looks like Aterrados and Sovereign are pretty engaged right now. Actually, Aterrados is sort of, we believe he's staying off the grid, as it were. He hasn't agreed to really do anything at this convention. But I
Oh,
believe Rant is at another panel right now. So we can definitely keep you in the loop as far as that's concerned.
she kind of pauses and then she turns and kind of moves over to Waterlily and looks up at her and she goes, "Is Leva Schwarzschild here?"
He is, yeah. No, he definitely is.
Really?
Yes, no, absolutely. Do you want me to send him a message or?
Oh, I mean, I mm, I don't I maybe we'll just happen across each other. I
There are tens of thousands of people here, Fawn. If you would like me to send him a message, that might be a little more sensible if you two want to meet up.
I he's probably he's probably busy. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
All right, and we will cut over to the other panel. Now, this panel is a little less focused than the one that Waterlily and Fawn were on. It tends to be, this one is more of kind of a Q&A with various novas. Sometimes they just sort of throw people together on a panel without a real theme. And it started off pretty normal, but over the course of about 45 minutes, this panel has gotten weird. The topics have gone into very strange, very pointed directions. And this is to not the surprise of Liberty Lad, because the moderator of this particular panel is Israel Weaver, the journalist that you had an encounter with a couple of months ago.
Son of a bitch.
And he has brought up he's guided the conversation to sort of a very like core but very very broad topic about nova powers and the responsibility that they imbue, or do they imbue responsibility. And he actually directs his attention to Rant and says, like, so yeah, this has come up into a very interesting way. So obviously you're a valid member of the Terrigen. Your lyrics are pretty have some pretty bold things to say on this topic. Can you articulate that in a more maybe a less lyrical fashion for the guests here?
Articulate what exactly? You've kind of been all over the place, and the lack of focus here is stressing me out a little bit, and I don't like that.
We've just gone where the conversation leads us. The Nova's responsibility to use their power for good or ill. Where does that responsibility lie? Or is there any?
That's a good question. And honestly, it's up to each individual Nova to make that decision. I know, blah, blah, right back to the Terrigen main, talking point. But if you think about it, your responsibilities are to who? That's a question. You could answer it if you'd like.
My responsibilities are in my profession. I'm a journalist by trade. My responsibilities are to the listening public and the truth.
Right. So you've made up these two different things that you believe you have a responsibility to based on your profession, and you have assigned the value to those things. Look, as a poor philosopher, a poor man's philosopher, let me put it this way. The responsibilities we have are the ones we create. That's a little bit of an absurdist sort of line, but if you take it to its fullest extent, that I have a responsibility to whomever I choose, I have a responsibility to, you lock yourself into that, right? So you locked into this belief of the truth. I'm locked into a belief that my responsibility are to the people I care for. And that's it. The responsible use of my powers is a complete nonsense question. I use the powers that I have as they are needed to do other things that I view as my responsibilities.
All right. Well, I think that's a answer in keeping with the general philosophy that you've presented so far and the philosophy that we've gotten from our various Terrigen members that I've interviewed and the public has heard. But let's turn that same question over to Liberty Lad. How do you feel about the inherent responsibility or lack thereof that Novas have when using their powers?
I mean, I think it's definitely a double-edged sword, and I think that those who don't have the power should at least have some sort of say in how we interact with their world. I mean, I, for one, am fine with, baselines. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I think we're just different. I don't think that, novas are some wave of the future. You know what I mean? Because it's with the powers we have comes also, greater responsibilities and greater problems as well.
Indeed.
I think you just said something important though there, mate. You said we are different. And I don't say that to be mean to any baselines, certainly not our lauded host here or anyone else. But Novas are a set apart, and our responsibilities are to reflect that being set apart, right? Am I right, Liberty Lad?
Well, I mean, what's going to happen when someone like you or someone, let's say, on your team starts assaulting police and almost killing them? I mean, how's that supposed to make baselines feel?
That's an interesting accusation, and I'm not quite sure where you're taking or where you're headed with it.
I believe that Liberty Lad is referring to the incident about a week or so ago outside Balance Industries when he tapped something on his phone and something comes up with a projector of a cell phone camera of Aterrados in the middle of fighting some cops with his crazy anime hair.
Honestly, I can't speak to that particular incident, but knowing how baselines like to instigate situations like it for their own, desires or attempt to spin things in a specific way, I wouldn't be shocked if he got pressed into reacting that sort of way. And as far as I know, no one died. So that's a win.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, if no one died, then everyone walks home happy.
Wouldn't say happy, but at least no one lost their life, which would be a tragedy, and we don't want any of that.
All right. Well, this has definitely been an interesting hour. Thank you to the both of you. This has been really great. I'm sure the people here and watching at home have gotten some new perspectives on Novas and how they go about their business. Everyone, let's clear out of the room. We've got the next panel starting, and pleasure to speak with all of you. And very similar, you both have your own handlers that have been sort of assigned to you to help you, maneuver the crowd. And you guys are both escorted into the back area while your handlers sort of start managing your next couple of hours.
There are some very disappointed Liberty Lad fans that were obviously wanted to see you talk or interact with Liberty Lad for a second, but they are pushed aside.
Sorry guys. I'll try to meet up with you later. And then Liberty Lad pulls out his phone and be like, "Hey, son." It'd be like, "Hey, sorry, gang. If you were trying to see me afterwards, I've other stuff. Busy schedule today. Sorry, gang."
Okay.
Yeah, Novacon takes their panel schedule very seriously, because there was like an incident in the first one when literally like one Nova just sort of took over a panel room for about 24 hours, and it didn't work out very well. But yeah, you guys are both sort of led into the back area while your handlers are starting to poke at their phones to try and manage your time for you.
I didn't like the tone of that guy, really.
No, he's a prick, and I've dealt with him before.
I'm sorry about that.
Looks back down at my phone.
Can we definitely Grant just kind of says this to the room. Can we not ever get interviewed by that guy again? Because really not okay. So
something you just have to deal with. I mean, he's going to be around, and the more they find out you don't like him, the more they're going to push you with him, or at least he'll push you with him and call you a coward if you're not there.
They can call me a coward all they want. That's no motivator. That's just bullshit that they use to like attempt to drive you into their, I don't know, trap, I suppose, for lack of a better word.
Well, then spring a trap on them so that they look weak.
That's actually a good bit of advice. You're not quite as friendly as I hoped you would be.
Sorry. I mean, if I knew that your Aterrados friend was here, I probably would. Well, actually, I would come, but I would have come with a fucking. Never mind. I shouldn't say such mean things. Don't want to change the tone. And he goes back to his phone.
Right. Well, you are a pretty face. I'll give you that, lad.
Oh wow, thanks. That must be my intrinsic value then, huh?
I don't know what you're.
Have a pretty face, lad. I'm so glad you're so fucking pretty.
Ouch. I'm just saying. That was definitely the thing that caught my attention, and from there, I just thought, it'd be nice to talk to you, but this honestly hasn't been, and that's kind of a shame.
Why? It's just normal.
What, being a dick is normal?
I'm being real. Sorry.
Real.
Just because I'm not gonna say, oh, it's so nice. Like, what? We're here backstage.
No, I appreciate that you're like, hey, I'm, we have a complete moral disagreement on things. I appreciate that. But you're a prick. And I think that like is a step farther than I anticipated.
Well, I guess everyone who tells you what you don't want to hear is a prick then. Sorry. I'm just being real, man.
All right. Take that. I'll ruminate on it and I'll see where it goes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Besides, I gave you some actual good advice. And I'm the prick. Dude, let's not have our emotions on our sleeves, okay? I know I might be the only one who looks like he's wearing armor, but have like some emotional armor. You know what I mean? It's tough love.
Right. I appreciate that. I'm just amused as the most emotionally controlled person in a room. To be called emotional is certainly an interesting reaction.
Well, control is illusory. Just remember
that. That I
anything else
agree with.
As I'm looking to my handler.
What's next? Says, yeah, no, we have some meetings with the press. We've got, your next panel isn't until till right before the end of the day, and you definitely have some time, free time if you like. We can move things around however you want, Anthony.
Okay, let me just finish up another message and then I'll be good to go.
Great. Okay, whatever you want. And Rant, your handler, she is just sort of like off to the side, like side-eyeing this conversation with a smile on her face, and just waiting for you to give her your input on what you want to do next.
Right. Hey, do I have a set coming up at this event, or is it just talkie with people?
You do have a concert. It's there's definitely a concert block, like Fridays and Saturday nights. You are in the Saturday block, so you've got a concert basically next tomorrow night. It looks like you're going, like there are multiple concerts on multiple nights. It looks like you have a concert at the same time as the Aetherwave concert.
Great. So Rant kind of looks at Liberty Lad and says, "Hey, lad, I appreciate your candor, and I'd like to continue talking if you would be into it, aggressively or a little more politely if you wanted. I've got a set, a concert coming up later on, and I'd like you to be backstage if you're willing or interested."
Yeah, I mean, I'll see. I might be able to. We'll see if I can move things around. Just have my name and name of my friends, like just in case I want to bring the gang on the list, and then I'll see if I can make it.
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. We've got food too, and drinks.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely see if I can, move something around.
Right. Invitation's open. Take it or leave it as you wish.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll definitely try to make it work.
All right. So everyone has some free time before the next mandatory obligation. Let's go back around. Fawn, what would you like to try and do in the couple of hours that you have?
Actually, Fawn was gonna continue talking with Waterlily.
Okay. So Waterlily, would you be doing anything else that you have Fawn tag along with, or what's your plan?
I think since this is Virginia's really first big thing like this, I think she is actually going to try and basically follow up with Liberty Lad, just because he's the social one. He knows more of what's going on. So if Fawn wants to walk and talk, that's fine. But she's going to sort of migrate towards where Liberty Lad is.
Okay, it's very easy to navigate through the back tunnels of this convention center, and you eventually can get in contact with Liberty Lad to find out exactly where he is. And it's a matter of whether you want to meet where he is, or you guys want to meet in a separate location, or how you guys want to hook up is up to you.
Okay. So yeah, no, Fawn, it's been very nice. Like I said, if you want, I can reach out, in regards to leaving a message for Schwarzschild. Otherwise, I'm gonna try and see if one of my teammates is available just to talk for a few minutes. But I'd love to talk with you on the way if you want.
Oh, sure. Sorry, I don't mean to impose if you don't want company. I don't know a lot of people here.
Yeah, no,
And Schwarzschild's talked about you before, so I'm interested in knowing more about you.
wait, what? What's he said?
Good things.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize you two were talking that much right now. He's mentioned you. He has. But
Oh, me and Levon go way back.
yeah, fair warning. If my teammate Circuit is around, you'll probably get some sort of parent trap maneuver of trying to trap you both in the same space for romantic interest. That will probably happen.
Fawn kind of blushes. Um,
It's
thank
all
you.
You're welcome. It's all well intentioned, and she's got a good heart. Just we're around these same people all the time, so if we can't have something going on, we'll certainly be up in each other's business.
Oh, I understand that. She
Yeah.
kind of like moves over and links her arm through yours, and she looks up and she goes, well, "Let's go." I always like meeting new people. I mean, as long as they're your friends, that means they're potentially could be my friends.
Well, I think you've met this one actually.
Oh,
There was a thing last week, a situation involving um, your teammate and Balance Industries.
those industries are bad news.
And we can certainly have that discussion along the way as well.
They're supporting the people who abuse animals.
There are unfortunately many instances in the country of that, but yes,
Yeah,
also
but not, in fact, going ahead and ripping out their free will and putting these cybernetic implants into them and completely making them monsters. Yeah.
okay. This is the project that was from the Park Terrace event as well, correct?
Yeah, where they literally had animals standing there completely still, weren't moving because they were now some sort of robots.
Correct. And all right, it sounds like from what I'm hearing that since Utopia disavowed the basically disavowed's a strong word. I wish it was stronger, but basically distanced themselves from that project for exactly that reason. It looks like Balance has picked up on that and continued the method. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, and those brothers or whatever are involved still. It's gross.
I'll let someone a little closer to that, and by that I mean somebody I know who's actually talking to them, know about that.
Who would
Certainly,
want to?
like I said, she gets really bored really easily. So
Wait, are you talking about Circuit?
yes, I am. She's currently dating one of the.
Why? She's the
Please.
one who warned me about PETA, and now she's dating one of these animal abusers? Are you kidding me?
I don't kid as often as people would hope. It's I can't really say for certain, though. Again, I would like to think that there is certainly a reason behind a lot of what she does. Certainly,
Oh,
I
I hope so.
I- I'm not going to sit and discuss her romantic interests. That's not not something I feel will be. Yeah, honestly, I'll probably get it wrong and it'll get out somewhere and somebody will overhear us. So I'd rather not. um, but in regards
I'm not
to
sure what you mean. Why not
what,
simply tell her if she asks?
what do you mean?
Well, it seems like you're concerned that someone might overhear our conversation. I'm not asking for secrecy or anything.
Oh, you mean you would like to? I thought you meant why is she dating him? And I said, well, I don't think I want to have this in account. Have this assumption where someone might turn it into tabloid behavior.
Okay. Oh, yeah. No. Okay, I understand now. Sorry. I don't think about tabloids a lot. I know I probably should. I'm not used to it. I had a very sheltered life. I'm sorry. I'm rambling because I'm out of my element and nervous. She kind of squeezes your arm.
I, trust me, I very much appreciate having somebody else who you know is visibly recognizable. That feels a little better as well for me. But no, I don't worry about it. I guess I'm just wondering
Oh,
sometimes,
you
like, you're in dangerous circumstances frequently, and the philosophies from some of your teammates at least are they put the hazard of the health in danger, the health of the public in danger. They're hazardous people, but you're professed nonviolent.
I am. I'm a pacifist.
How do you balance those two ideas?
I try to convince them that violence is not the right answer, but sometimes violence happens anyway. So I try to minimize the damage that's done. I heal who I can and make sure that there's no injuries or death. And that goes for whoever they're fighting as well.
See, I'm sort of in a it's not opposite. I'm sort of in a different position there where I can make people stop fighting, but if I do that, I'm stripping away a part of them, the part of them that wants to fight, and I know that. I can keep control of a circumstance and make sure there's peace, but it's an authoritarian method. So we try to do that as little as possible, and because of that, I have to know how to fight and do it more frequently than I'd like.
I think I helped you one time with that. I do that too. I have a very calming presence.
Yep. Well, let's see if
So-
we can keep each other calm on
So who
the
are we going to meet
busiest.
first?
Yeah. So are you meeting up with Liberty Lad? Like, are you going to where he is, or did you guys want to arrange a second location to meet up at? Basically, if you're going to be where Rant is at the same time as meeting up with Liberty Lad, is how we're trying to figure this out.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
I'll leave that one on the Liberty Lad for basically gets the message of from Waterlily of I'm it's a very busy con. You've done more of this stuff than I have. Can we talk for a second?
Yeah, I'd respond that I'm like in a green room somewhere, and so if so if you want to bring Fawn along, I mean I wouldn't know that she was there unless you said so, but
Yeah, no, she'll basically respond of it's like I have one of the legacy kids, and she does actually use the word kids. I have one of the legacy kids with me.
Rude.
You don't see my
Uh-oh.
text. Don't even.
I'm
it's
going.
like,
Well, as soon as I see it's one of the legacy kids, I'm going to try to max out my defense because I think it might be Aterrados. I'm like, oh god.
Okay. So you want to max out your power there?
Yeah, and I'll spend the extra. I'll use the extra thing of flux for an enhancement.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go ahead and make that roll. So while you're doing that, basically, Rant, when about the time like things get just like way too awkward and you're feeling the urge to leave the area, you basically head out of the green room area that you are, and you see Waterlily and Fawn come around the corner, sort of approaching that area as well.
Hi, Rant.
Oh, Fawn. Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. Waterlily. It's a pleasure to see you again.
hi, yeah. How are you doing?
I actually had wanted to talk to you. I just didn't have a way to get in touch. You have a minute?
Sure. Is Liberty Lad back there?
He is, yeah, and I won't keep you if you want to talk, later on. That's fine.
Mm, if you're able to stick around for a second, I do want to touch base with him first. But yeah, no, I definitely want to. I'd like to talk to you. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I can wait.
Okay.
I can keep Liberty Lad company if you guys want to talk.
You know, let's go see how he's doing first. I'm sure he's fine. He's always fine. But let's go take a second.
He and I just had a pointed conversation, so I'm sure he's going to be fine.
There's a pause when you say pointed conversation, and she just looks, and then that look says a lot of the. It's like, oh, okay, noted.
Fawn looks like she doesn't understand what that means.
How'd your roll go, Anthony?
Oh, I made it.
Okay, so you've boosted your
Finally.
defense up. Awesome. So yeah, so you've amped up your kind of your preternatural like quickness and defensiveness. And then who comes through the door when you're in this ready mode?
Oh, it's got to be Fawn. Fawn comes basically bouncing in.
Yeah, Waterlily will walk in behind.
Oh, it's you. Is your friend here? The long hair?
I think he's busy right now. At least that's what I don't know the name of the guy who's helping me right now, but he said that they're busy right now. How are you? She kind of like
Okay, because if I see him, I'm gonna take him up to kiss a cloud and then I'm gonna drop him.
Whoa.
What?
Okay. What? Hi. How are you doing, Liberty Lad?
Oh, other than that, I'm fine. I just not gonna have anyone try to cut up my face because they want to kill a cop in front of me.
Right.
And didn't want to kill a cop.
Well, then why did he act so violently against him? Aren't you the non-violent one? Shouldn't you have stopped him?
I tried. I wasn't there in time before he got taken away, and he didn't want to go in. So he was trying to move out. I was keeping everyone safe.
Also, this
Well,
place
maybe he needs a babysitter sometime.
This place is crawling with high security. You know that. Don't do that. You know better.
No, I'm just letting her know that she can tell little friend that kind of stuff is not going to be tolerated here. All right, you're not going to hurt a baseline in front of me. Sorry.
Right. Okay.
It wasn't his intention to hurt them.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
It wasn't.
I'm sure he's just going to hug him to death with his hair. But we can change the subject. It's all right. Are you enjoying your con? Having fun?
Having a really hard time understanding who's in front of me right now. I've been to your releases before. Is that just all for show?
What do you mean? What releases?
I went to one of your signings.
Yeah, because I like to sign for people. I don't like to get hurt by people. So I'm telling people that hurt me that I'm going to have to hurt them back.
You, in fact, flew up into the air with him. You, in fact, grappled him.
Yeah, after he was hurting someone. Do you understand that concept?
Yes, because I was the one healing that person when she was trying to get away from them.
Yeah, I think
No,
Just
you're
like
he
he
hurt
was
them.
trying.
He assaulted that person first, in my understanding.
Okay, at this point, I'm basically advising this is all a mistake, and maybe we shouldn't be talking to each other anymore right now.
I mean, I'll let the
Because-
topic drop, and I tried to let the topic drop.
Well, I have a problem when someone's accusing people that I care for. And I also have a problem when people are sitting there basically deciding and telling me that they're going to try to kill someone that's close to me because of a misunderstanding. I have a problem with that.
I'm not going to kill anyone.
Really? So flying up
Yes,
from
really.
a high height and then dropping them is not a form of killing them?
Well, no, I already did that once, and he didn't die. So
There's not like she literally almost says Anthony and catches herself and it's Liberty Lad. Can you reinforce right now, for Fawn's general benefit, that there is not going to be violence at NovaCon?
I will not lash out at anyone. I will not hurt anyone, but I will be reactive in my
None of
in my
us
actions.
are going to allow a large violent action at NovaCon. We will respond in a defensive manner to stop violent actions. Is that a better phrasing?
Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself.
We're not
Right.
violent people.
Fawn, it's been lovely talking to you. Truly, I have
Yeah,
to at
I
least.
think I understand. It's fine. You don't need to say anything.
No, I mean, I do. I feel I do have to at least state that, the circumstances regarding Aterrados involved, harm. So I'm not going to say that Liberty Lad is unjustified in his anger. I am saying that the threats of violence in this area are inappropriate, certainly. And he knows that. And he knows that. So this is where we are right now. But I
Yes,
did
you're
want
right. I do know that. Thank you.
It's like I did want to at least make it clear that I also don't agree with whatever he was with whatever Aterrados was doing at that time.
Here's the problem that I have, and it's how things keep rolling back. And it's blaming Aterrados for the situation rather than the fact that he had to react to being attacked. That bomb.
Well, then I very much look forward to hearing more information than I had, as the information I have thus far places this as a more aggressor stance, but that's not what I want to do right now. Honestly, Liberty Lad, I was just checking in to see what we were supposed to do for the rest of the day. Like you,
I mean,
again,
oh yeah. I mean, how is your day? Sorry. Like, how are you dealing with how'd your panel go?
it was something honestly you'd have been better at. They were talking about social media strategies, and I'm not, I'm not you. I'm not any of the people who do that.
Yeah, but you're
So
you. I'm not Waterlily, Virginia. I mean, there's stuff that you can do that I could never hope to do. So that's why, that's why I need you on my team. I like having you on my team, and I like having you out there talking to the world.
thank you. But yeah, I didn't realize that this was going to be a tough panel for you either. So
Oh, it was fine. It was nothing. It was just that Israel guy, but I can handle him now.
oh no, it was Israel.
Yeah, but I'm used to him now. So as long as I'm prepared to know that he's going to be there, I'm good.
Looks over at Rant and is like, yeah, he came in our house and just started to do all that.
Oh, yeah, I find him despicable, and I intend to never interact with him again because that was the worst panel I've ever been on. But I'll give Liberty Lad credit. He focused the frustration in the right direction.
I don't know, like he's brought important things to attention. It's just hard being under his particular gaze. But yeah, so I know, have you got any more panels today? Either of you?
Got a concert later on. I was just saying to Liberty Lad that he was invited to the backstage area if he was interested, and you're more than invited as well.
Yeah, I got us on the list if we need to.
Okay. Yeah, no, That sounds nice. I think I would be interested in hearing your what's the best. Actually, I was going to say your non-protest music, but I don't know if you have any.
It all kind of is in that direction, being punk and all. But I do have a couple of new songs and a couple of songs I'm hoping don't have the usual effect, if you get my meaning.
Actually, yes, I would like to talk to you. In fact, I was Liberty Lad, I'll be on communication if anything comes up, but I think I
Sure.
probably have to talk to Rant about something real quick. Okay, and looks at Fawn like, you can either follow us or you can stay here with Liberty Lad. Like, doesn't say it, but that's the look.
Fawn, you're welcome to come with us if you like.
She kind of glances once more over at Liberty Lad, and she kind of frowns a bit. And she looks back at them. She goes, I think I'll be okay.
Oh yeah, no, you'll be fine.
Right, cheers.
And they head off out of the green area.
Yeah, and like they're like the backstage area, like I said, it's pretty extensive. They have this this convention center has been built with like privacy of celebrities in mind, and like people who don't necessarily want to be out in the hoi polloi, as it were. But yeah, so you guys have plenty of space to have a conversation here.
I'm sure that was. I don't know what started that, but I'm sure it was interesting.
Yeah, well, it didn't help that I ended the last conversation with the boy, with Liberty Lad, in kind of the angle that I took. He's not really a nice person, is he?
He actually is the interesting part. I know it comes off as whatever's happening right now, and it's been happening more frequently, but no, he very much wants to do the right thing. He wants to do big things. And that's I don't have that kind of drive in the same way. We both want to accomplish things for people, and he enjoys the spotlight better with it.
He enjoys the spotlight too much, maybe.
That's not mine to judge. In fact, Nova existence is a spotlight continually. Who am I to say that somebody who thrives under it, like you and your shows, is any better or worse off in regards to the evolution of who we're supposed to be?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Deciding who we are, who we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to be. I had a conversation recently. This gets to the heat of the matter, what I wanted to talk to you about, where someone that I trust, someone that I believe, someone that I respect, gave me advice that I think was shite, to be blatant, straight up about it. And because I questioned, am I really being real when someone fawns over me simply because of my powers, right? And their answer was, well, it's a part of you, so it has to be real. It's as real as anything else, right?
Okay. What do you think?
I think that's crap. I think our powers are great. They're wonderful. They're amazing. They stretch and do different things, right? And all of that's amazing, but it's not real if it's not what the person actually wants. If it's just me affecting their mind, affecting, their desire, it's just me projecting into their head.
I understand that feeling a lot, in fact. So yeah, how are you going to handle your concert tonight then?
Well, I also got told that it's not me that is, or there's nothing preventing me from not actually doing that to people. Which
really
was a fucking revelation. But it boils down to that I guess I've been doing it subconsciously, and I've been talking to a therapist on the talky talk kind of thing on your phone. App.
Good.
I guess you call it an app. So I'm going to try and see if I can do some songs without that and see how it goes.
Okay. Well, one, good. If it is something related to a need to be seen on a subconscious level, that's interesting. But I guess, And she leans back and thinks about it, and she's like, it would have to be very much a agreed upon situation. But if you want, I could try and turn off your powers for a bit and see if how it feels for you.
So the only downside to that is my powers are also about creating everything, the background music and everything like that. I don't have a band yet to do backups. So while I want to do that, I don't think this is the show for it.
Not to pry too hard, but does what you do happen only when you're singing, or is it like normal social interactions as well?
It's both. You often, I guess I've gotten a little bit better where, face to face doesn't always have that sort of effect, but for a long time it was any sort of, interaction.
Okay, well, then I would recommend something like that for just walking around the convention or prior to your show. If you just want to be in a crowd and not be the center of it, aside from who you are, then that's an offer.
Can you control how long it lasts?
Um, as much as anybody can, I suppose. So not that long.
Right.
But no, I definitely understand the idea of wanting to know yourself better.
Oh, I just want to, sorry that I'm not trying to unload on you, but the reason I was talking to you is I did want to set up a situation where we could, where I could dorm down, not really, the right use of that word, but power off and see how things were. So I think this is as good a time as any to try it.
Sure, now?
Why not?
Okay. No, that works fine, I suppose.
As long as you're okay with it. I'm not trying to push you into anything.
Waterlily, before you guys sort of get ready to do that, you start getting a phone call on your communicator.
Sorry, one moment. Let me see what this is.
Right.
You look
she'll
at it,
activate.
and the number itself is not one that you recognize, but it has like an indicator to show that it's like whitelisted. It's from within the organization. It's from within Utopia.
Okay. Browse furrow, and she'll go ahead and take the communication. Hello.
Hello, Virginia. And it's a voice you do recognize when you had a fairly long conversation with recently.
Oh.
Margaret Mercer says, "Hello,
Mhm.
Waterlily. Do you have a moment?"
I do. I'm here at the NovaCon. So
Yes, I don't really want. I did not want to disturb you during your time there, but it's something I want to discuss because it might provide an opportunity for you and for us while you're there.
very well. Do I need to take this call privately?
Yeah, please do get out of earshot of anyone.
And we'll basically just give Rant a nod and walk off further down into the green room tunnels, and I'll be right back.
Okay. She says, thank you. I appreciate it. Just didn't need prying ears. I wanted to follow back up with you on something we discussed. It was the matter that you brought up about that Nova Sluice.
Yes.
Yes. She says, hold on one moment. Let me double check something. And here are like a series of like tones and clicks. Just had to make sure the encryption was online. Yes. So we've discussed things with legal and with the subject himself. And I wanted to give you a little bit more information about what that situation is. The reason why he has not been released is because have been in ongoing, for lack of a better term, negotiations with him.
Mm-hmm.
He has kind of been going back and forth on whether he wants to, for lack of a better term, defect. And we've kind of hit a bit of a roadblock with him. His core issue, the thing that we've been working on, is he believes, or he seems to believe, based on some evidence that we've been able to show him, that the incident in Miami may have been part of a constructed scenario where his associates used him as sort of a stalking horse to set up what happened later. And that doesn't sit well with him. And I wanted to approach you because negotiations have stalled. And he really wants to speak with a member of the Terrigen to sort of maybe see what can be told from there. And I was wondering, since you've been having interactions with them, if there is any one of them that you would trust to maybe bring into this situation to see if we might be able to come to a mutually beneficial resolution.
What precisely are you just looking for? Excuse me, are you looking for a representative with him that would have an honest perspective as to what the Terrigen have been doing with this sense, or?
He just wants to talk to another Terrat, I think. Someone, maybe you can brief someone to get some information from their end. It's just I think you have a good judge of character, Virginia, and we would really like to see if this opportunity can be brought to fruition. So if you can think of someone who you trust to not take advantage of the situation, to deal with the situation honestly, then I would trust you to bring someone in for this particular task. Besides, I'm sure that many of the Terrigen are curious as to what Sluice's situation is and would like to have an opportunity to speak with him.
Well, thank you, Miss Mercer. Yes, I do actually have an idea. I just wanted to make sure that I understood what your parameters and needs were. But I do know someone who would be invested in seeing a resolution and understanding the situation better.
Excellent, fantastic. I was hoping that would be the case. I don't want to delay you anymore. This will probably be a number of weeks before we get this set up. Plenty of time for them to do whatever investigation they feel is appropriate to bring the information to Sluice. I wanted to, since it was likely that you would run into some people from that organization, I wanted to make sure that we had someone working on it.
Okay, and what information would you like me to relay to them? Because I understand this has been private, this has been encrypted. What can I tell them?
I would say that there's an opportunity to speak with Sluice directly in a sort of free and clear sort of situations where like free passage, safe passage would be guaranteed on their end in order to do a wellness check or to have a conversation with the young man.
Okay, but they need to keep it quiet on their end, I assume.
I wouldn't ask that. It would be probably better if they did, to avoid if there is some sort of setup or conspiracy or using of him, then the people indirectly involved in that scenario probably shouldn't find out that this is happening. Otherwise, they may intervene violently. But once again, I'm asking you because I trust your judgment in selecting the right person.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Mercer. I will certainly do so. And thank you for remembering my interest.
Certainly, I want to make sure that you are being served well by the institution as well as you serve the institution.
It's very kind. Is there anything else I can help with in the meanwhile?
Nothing. Just have a good NovaCon.
Thank you. Trying.
And she hangs up.
And yeah, no, there'll be just this long second of thinking, and then we'll walk back towards Rant and go, well, aren't you an interesting catalyst today?
I've been called worse things.
I'm sure. And there's actually she's always had like a very low grade smile, and it's a little higher wattage right now than usual. I just was asked something that I feel you probably be very well suited for, and if not, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I brought back what you were saying about the gentleman Sluice who has been detained unreasonably.
Right.
And it looks like Sluice wants to talk to another member of the Terrat in regards to he has concerns about whether what's the best way to phrase this? About whether he was used in order to basically create a situation, a political situation.
Oh, I would hope not.
I know, and that's why I'm actually telling you, because I know that you. I don't know. Actually, that's untrue. I don't know you very well, but from the encounters we've had, you seem very earnest in things being correct, and whether we agree or disagree, the right things happening or the things being done the right way. So I guess if you're willing to talk to Sluice about, whether you believe that the Tarot, did this or not, I think you would be a good spokesperson.
Yeah, if I get an opportunity to make sure that he's okay, he's alive and safe, that is something that I would appreciate.
Mhm.
And the opportunity to hopefully put him at ease. I'm not 100% sure I can do that super effectively, but I could have some conversations on my end to have that conversation. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And of course, needless to say, and like there's just a pause of you need to be very careful. If that's a circumstance that did happen, I don't want to see you caught in the blast. So I know that you're very punk and I know that you're very loud. Can you be subtle, Rant?
Yes. It's not something that would be obvious by me, but I can, and I can be careful too.
Okay. Then yes, I would like to have you have an opportunity to, one, do a wellness check on the people that you so fearsomely were defending for, and thank you for bringing this to my attention.
Thank you for looking into it. That I just on the edge of really trusting you, and at this stage, I do, and I appreciate that. I know we disagree on some things, but I think you're a good person, and I think that means a lot to me. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to have some conversations, and I'm going to look into this, and I want to try and have that conversation soon.
Okay. And we met very poorly. I acknowledge that very much. And there are certainly things that we are always going to end up on the wrong side of, I think, especially in regards to, like I was saying in the green room, the situation with Aterrados. I am a firm believer in action for a strong cause, but also that's not the way to do it. um, However, I would very much like to come back to the idea of we're all here. We're all representing what we feel it means to be a Nova in the modern age, which is a very interesting question. And would you like to just walk around and be a guy for a little bit?
Yeah, I'd like to try that and see how it goes.
Okay.
And that's where we'll end it this week. Tune in next time to see where things go from here on Aberrant Atomic Youth. Don't forget to follow the characters on Twitter to see more of the story, and follow Simulacra RPGs for updates on the show and the channel. If you'd like to support the show, you can subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels at Simulacra TV, but the best way is to go to patreon.com/Simulacra Studios and become a patron. A big thanks to our $5 and up patrons. You keep the story going, and we couldn't do it without you. Until next time, remember, your legacy is our future.